Well, it's another Saturday morning, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the program Satideh Morning Runnings, aired live Saturdays at 10 a.m. I am your host, Lady D. Denise Gomez, producer of Inside the Zone. Inside the Zone is aired Mondays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., and Thursdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share Inside the Zone on the YouTube channel. This week's topic in Satideh Morning Runnings, Black History Month, Great Minds, Great People. Jamaica, the Caribbean, and countries worldwide have produced remarkably brilliant people, and Satideh Morning Runnings celebrates Great Minds, Great People for Black History Month. Join us this morning as we explore inventors, inventions in medicine, technology, and so much more. A Satideh Morning Runnings. Come, make we talk. The crew on board, as always, Maxine, Max Poet Lyons, Jackie Brainbox Tyson, Sharns, the Conscious One, Mignot Brown. Jen will not be joining us this morning, and our heart a pine after we, but we know that she'll be able to watch later on. So that's a good thing when you have a channel. TV, yes. Oh, no, the ladies, morning. I know it has been a very rewarding, interesting week, perhaps challenging in some respects, but we're still there.
Yep. One thing I noticed that we all got a memo about the yellow. Is that it?
I guess.
Oh, well.
So
You never get it.
No, man,
you got it, man.
Dear man.
You got it. You have the yellow.
Family client.
You have little. Yes.
Yeah, man.
It's called
But
Great
Yeah,
thank
Minds
God.
it
Think
was a
Alike.
challenging week, especially for me.
Exactly.
Finals and the jitters because everybody. This is a very challenging course when at this
Mhm.
point in the program, and
Yes.
thank God I did it. So
Thank God. So,
I'm off to the races.
so
They
you
just
know,
call Jackie Brain Box for no reason. They
there
just
you
call it
go.
Brain Box
Let's
for a reason. You'll joke.
exactly. But you have to feed the brain box. So Jackie, make sure you eat well if fish head.
Locks, so me used to hear that. Me not eat
Fish
as
head
much
good
fish
for
as
your
I me used
brain.
to. When we grow up, they say fish head good for our brain. We must eat. I mean, used to eat
Fish
well
head
for
good
fish
for your
head. I
brain.
still
Yeah, I've
do,
always
Yes.
heard
but I need to eat more.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. Make little fish tea, little fish soup with the fish head.
Yes,
Because now
ma'am.
the brain cells
Gotta
are
feed the
diminished.
brain.
that. And eat a lot of blueberries. Eat a lot of blueberries.
Oh,
Okay.
blueberries.
Yes,
Hmm.
blueberries. It's proven.
Detox.
I,
Okay.
Oh
I
my
never do without
goodness.
blueberries. Yeah.
See there. So
All
you're all
right.
looking
Mhm.
good. I see power to the people, Black woman movement. Something go on the
Yes,
charts.
Charles.
Yes. I was gonna put the Afro pick with the fist.
Yes.
Yes, I
May
have
have
one.
one, I was gonna stick it in, but I tried to refrain myself.
Oh, you could
I
have,
restrained myself.
could have. We
So
would
I
have take it.
refrained.
Well, I am rocking the locks, and it's coming to come.
Yes,
Let me
yes.
tell you, any which way, don't play with a black woman.
Same so.
No,
And she can
I
look
can I
different
can be
every
something
week.
else later on. Yes,
my
Well,
boss when
no,
I was in
no.
New
Tell
York,
me
my boss
about
used to
it.
tell me that
We more leave.
he doesn't know who will come in the next time he sees me. Like after a weekend, he said he doesn't know who's gonna come in.
exactly.
The poor man is absolutely right. Lord. So we'd like to welcome our audience. Don't forget, those of you who uh, you're watching, I'd like you to actually tap in so you can tap into the screen so that you can chat with us. And I'll be able to see you because you'll be watching. But if you don't come in and say nothing, I can't acknowledge you by name. And that's one of the areas of challenge that we're trying to weave you into to say, hey, when you see it and you just maybe tap your audio so that you can hear it, we're not seeing you. You have to literally come into this space and type and say, hey, want to say good morning. Gigi was first. Morning, Gigi. How you do? Georgette. That's her name. And Kat, I'm so happy to see you. Trust you're good. It's been a while. We miss you, but we're happy to see you. And King Ryan, of course, is here as always. Come here,
All
Jesus.
right.
Man.
Take here.
I mean, yes, don't let me put.
You know, King.
Hey
Good
Norma,
morning,
here's my
Norma.
friend Norma. Hey
Norma, it's
Norma.
sweet you come back.
Norma.
Take
Mhm.
the time with the hair.
Okay. Yes, so we come. Hey,
I know you
Edgy,
had
what's
today.
doing?
Yes,
Good morning,
we're
Ed.
trying to stay hot. Forever.
Edgy, as you come on, though, could you please share it with some of your friends? We would love to see everybody coming in. So it's good to see you. Come in, man, and type too, so we can call your name. Well, here we are in the month of February, and we're celebrating Black History Month. We're Black every day. We minds up, we are in a revolving mode, both in terms of what we want to do with our lives, our ancestry, what do we recall about them? Are we appreciative of the inventions, the work they have put in? Or, we just take it for granted that we have a phone and we can pull up GPS. It didn't just come like that at all.
Mhm.
There was a lot of work that went into it. And all these people did something significant, which is why we are able to have conversations about it all year round and experiences. For those of you who are tuning in and you may know of, some great invention or person that you would like to share, you can type it in the chat and I'll be able to pull it up and acknowledge that person on your behalf. as somebody you recognize who have done something wonderful. Don't forget, this is Saturday Morning Runnings. My name is Denise Lady D. Gomez, and my crew with me this morning. Those of you who are accustomed to seeing Jennifer, aka Miss Jen, she's not able to join us this morning, but we want to say cool. Herman is in the house. Me well early this morning, but me can't even make me bed. You know what, Herman? The bed can't make off.
Miss Selena, Herman, the birthday gone from last week, are the remnants about you?
Good
Last week was the birthday. Look like she's celebrating all week. Me not run to your child.
morning. Nobody to bother. No pick me if you could give tea.
Me have three can give over here. Me had to give tea a while ago, Herman. Make me no be want send them over. You can borrow them for a while. Send them back though.
Right, right, right. So, welcome, and please remember to subscribe. I realize that the numbers went up in the past week. So, I'd like to thank everyone, who have been
Nice.
subscribing. The numbers are climbing. And at the end of this show or during the show, I'd like to see the numbers spike once again. So, thank you. And the views and the impressions and all those things count so that YouTube can say, all right, then she worked long enough, make we get our little props. You know. So,
You
but
know?
I need
Sure,
your
why
help. It
not?
can't be done.
You
Can't be
deserve
done
it. You
on my
deserve a
own.
raise.
We deserve a raise. Let's see. Then
Yes.
it's now 12 minutes after 10 o'clock, and we are in the throes of our show right now. We do have some interesting people that we would like to acknowledge here for people who have been great inventors. And we're going to do bits and pieces. Some of us have a long list, some have one, some have two. And, as we are going through it, we can really talk about the significance of and relevance of what they have done. And here we are in the 20th century, 21st century, right? So we're glad.
Mhm.
Again,
Yeah.
a Saturday morning runnings, come make we talk. Let's hop on over right now to um, Sharon's. I give you first preference this morning, and you just tell me who you'll be featuring. And we're giving them in snippets because sometimes when you look at their
Yeah.
bio, you're like, oh Lord, we can't read all of this, but we can certainly pick out. Jack, you're muted, my love. We can certainly pick out
Sorry.
the most important pieces, and so that everybody can get a full understanding of who we're recognizing this morning. So, Sharon's, you start off this morning. A Black History, we say.
Yep. You
Mm-hmm.
see all my black girls behind me giving me some strength. I'm
Thank you.
focusing on a female right now. Kudos and much love to my brothers, but I'm starting with a female, and it's one that we know very well, or most people know very well. Her name was Sarah Breedlove Walker. And let me just preface what I'm going to say by saying that African Americans established a strong history of inventing products and tools in the 18th century. During the 19th century, before and after slavery was abolished, Black inventors continued to have a great influence on the United States. So, Sarah Breedlove Walker, who was also known as Madam C.J. Walker, most people recognize that name immediately. She was born in 1867 and she died 1919. She's probably the most famous African American woman inventor. Walker invented the hot comb and a pomade to make hair soft and shiny. Before the hot comb, African Americans straightened their hair on ironing boards. Who knew that? Yes,
What's up? Oh,
many
yeah,
Not
people
yeah.
had
eating talk.
burns. Yes, many people had burns on the face and the scalp as a result, as well as damaged hair. Because of this, Walker revolutionized the African American cosmetics industry. To increase business for her beauty products, Madam C.J. Walker organized saleswomen into Walker clubs. They were known as Walker clubs, a system that has been later copied by Mary Kay Cosmetics.
Mhm.
In 1905, she founded Leela College in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to train women to sell her products. This marketing system worked very well. Walker became the first African American woman millionaire. She employed 3,000 people in her Indianapolis, Indiana factory. Madam C.J. Walker gave generously to the National Association for the Advancement of Colored Persons, which is known as NAACP today, and other nonprofit groups and charities. She also founded scholarships for women to go to college. So let's give it up for Madam C.J. Walker. Girl
Yay!
power, girl power, girl power.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She's the
So,
beauty queen of beauty.
Max, who is
Yes.
your featured person this morning?
Okay, so I'm featuring Sir Frederick McKinley Jones. He left his mark with the development of refrigeration equipment, receiving over 40 patents for it. In 1930, of course, he began inventing automatic refrigerated air cooling units for trucks, trains, ships, planes, which helped the preservation of food. Kudos to him. His creation was the Thermo King, which allowed people to eat fresh food year round. His work also contributed to the preservation of medicine and blood, which was useful in World War II. He became the first African American to receive the National Medal of Technology. And I want
Oh,
to especially point out the portion where this technology, the refrigeration technology, was used in medicine for blood preservation. This is one of the reasons why today, when we visit the doctor's office and we do blood drawing, they can keep it in a refrigeration and then send it to the lab via refrigeration without it
mhm.
being spoiled or getting rotten. So we can get our results from good blood. Because
Right.
if there was no preservation in terms of the refrigeration, of course, they would have to
Get
draw the blood and
contaminated.
do the testing right there on spot without
Hmm.
having to refrigerate. But thank God for this man, Mr. Jones. He did an awesome job. It's one of the reasons why when we get medicines from our doctors and it says refrigerate, we can refrigerate it because we have a refrigeration in our house. So the
Hmm.
system of refrigeration keeps us healthy, well, and beautiful. Preserving our food and especially our medicine is just key. So I
Yes.
think Mr. Frederick McKenna Jones deserves a wonderful round of applause because without him, this invention would never came. He's a very,
Yay!
very important.
And thank you for sharing that, Max. And Sharon's, what stood out most for you about Madam CJ?
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Get our fix there, Sharon's.
Well,
I
what stood
can't
out
see. I'm gonna
most?
leave and come back.
What
Okay,
stood out?
okay.
I'm
What
gonna.
stood out from me?
Yes.
Where Madam CJ, will just fill in for Sharon until
Yeah.
she gets back.
Mhm.
What stood out
Yeah,
from
I'll be
me
right
for
back.
Madam CJ is her business sense
Mhm.
and her unselfishness,
Yes.
because this is something that she didn't want to keep just for herself. She was training other women in
Mhm.
business. And
Mhm.
that stood out for me exceptionally because in today's day and age, everybody is all for themselves, and
Mhm.
all for, getting in that money. But they're forgetting that when you share your talent or share what you know with others, you can only empower them and you can only build the world.
That's right.
So
Thank you.
that stood out for me.
Yeah, that's significant. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Jack. So Sharon's is back. Welcome back, Sharon's.
All right.
So Jackie just gave her spin-off on Madam CJ Walker. What about yours?
Oh well, given this fro I'm having here, it would be a little devastating to have to lay my head down on an ironing board back in the day. But people have always had issues with black hair. Black hair is still almost a phenomenon. People don't understand black hair. And so, I love having black hair. I love having the kinky hair because at any given moment, you can have it anywhere you want. You can straighten
Yeah, it's
it.
versatile.
Yeah, it's very versatile. See me now and see me later. You want if it's the same person. And I'm not talking about like putting on pieces, but by mere virtue of being able to, straighten it and then wash it out and it goes back kinky and that sort of stuff. It's a phenomenon, but we have been ostracized, we have been discriminated against over the years for our hair. You know
Mm,
what I mean? Even amongst our own people,
Yeah.
because I'm a firm believer that um hair is just hair. God has made hair. He gave you different textures, and by virtue of just mingling the races, some people come off with a different texture and things
Yeah.
of that nature. But you have some people who want to be free with their natural hair, and
mm-hmm.
you have some people who don't mind a process, whether it's a permanent process, like like probably hair creams, or possibly like the hot comb that Madam CJ Walker came up with, and a
Right.
little pomade to kind of tame it down a little bit. So black hair has always been a subject of much some people it's a subject of much trepidation because they don't know what to do with it. When I used to
That's
have
true.
locks, my hair was very long, and when I worked in the city, and I used to sometimes I'm in the elevator going up to the office. And one day I felt one of my locks, being rubbed. And when I
Mm,
glanced around, it was a white lady behind me feeling it I mean, she was so curious, and I guess she probably think I wouldn't feel it. And she
mm-hmm.
was just rubbing it. And she said, I'm so sorry, but it looks so nice. I was trying to see what it felt like. So hair has always been a thing, but hair
Yeah.
is here to stay. So kudos and thank Madam CJ Walker for having given us a choice. And also not only just for the hair, but it's the beauty industry itself. And know that there are lots of women who earn extra income, or sometimes it might be their only income stream by
Mm-hmm.
becoming, a representative for Mary Kay products,
That's
or,
true.
being an entrepreneur in the beauty industry for themselves. And who knew that Mary Kay patterned her training of women to go out and sell her products off of what Madam CJ Walker started? Who knew?
Indeed. Thank you. And so
Movement. You
for Cat Earl Stewart, he's asking us to do a feature on penicillin and light bulbs. So
penicillin.
Jackie has that. But before you do that, Jack, until you are ready, I just also, in keeping in the same vein of acknowledging our women, because we do have our men featured as well. My feature is on Gladys West, mathematician who gave us GPS, and perhaps
Mm-hmm.
no
Mm-hmm.
clue what she looked like. So we are here to help you with that. This is the beautiful
It must be my aunt.
Auntie.
Yeah.
Same. I would say the same, Max. Never know these things. So I would like to feature.
Before I got married,
That's
my
right.
original name.
Yes. Okay. So let's feature Gladys this morning. Here we go. Gladys West, 1930 to present, is a mathematician whose extremely detailed model on the Earth became the foundation of GPS that is used today in countless applications, including navigation and communication. Born in 1930 in a small community in Virginia, West fantasized about escaping rural life and felt that education was her only way out. She earned top grades to win full scholarship to Virginia State College and took on babysitting and teaching jobs to support herself. In 1956, shortly after graduating with a master's in mathematics, she was hired by the U.S. Naval Service Warfare Center, at the time becoming the only second Black woman ever to be hired at the facility. The very first computers arrived during that time, so she quickly learned how to program to analyze satellite data. After showcasing her skills working on award winning studies, looking at Pluto's motion relative to Neptune, she was named project manager for the CSAT radar altimetry project, the first satellite that could monitor the oceans. It was here that she created the detailed mathematical model of the shape of the Earth, which accounted for things like gravitational and tidal forces that change the Earth's shape. After retiring in 1998 and recovering from a stroke, she went back to school to earn her PhD at the age of 70. It was only in
Wow.
2017, after the release of the movie Hidden Figures, that she started to receive recognition for her role in revolutionizing navigation. And I'm wrapping up. And that's it. So that's my girl for you, Gladys West, mathematician who gave us GPS.
And that's
And
major. That is
that's
absolutely
major.
major.
No,
That is major. We wonder what our
Yes.
lives were like before GPS.
I
well,
know.
it was
Yes, I
simply
mean, you wonder.
going
Absolutely.
for me.
You remember back in the day when anybody used to use MapQuest?
Oh
Yes.
yes, yes, man.
You going somewhere, you have. I used to have
Print
to
it
print
out.
off.
Mhm.
Print, yeah, the MapQuest. And
Print
now
it out.
GPS. You just yeah.
Well,
I
I
And
mean,
don't.
not
it's
only
amazing. It's
not only
absolutely
sir,
amazing.
not only map quest,
But
but when we used to have to have a
may
map.
Yes,
Yes,
some
the
people
map
read
came
maps
before the
very well.
MapQuest.
Hmm. Yes. What were
okay,
you saying, Max?
before the map, the, what I want to share was before the map, my grandmother invented something. But let me tell you something later. A lot of people invent stuff and they're not recognized because some of us it's not major or it's not known, it's not shared with the world at large. So it's the world at large don't even know that somebody invented something because nobody shared it, nobody, it wasn't documented anywhere. But I
Mm-hmm.
recall as a child growing up, my grandmother did igloring. I think I've told this story before. And there was another lady named was Miss Vi. She lived in a different lane. So what they would do, because they had to go to catch the market truck early Monday morning. Early, I mean early when
Hmm.
they get up like 3 a.m. to walk to the main road with back and torch to catch the truck before the truck would leave.
Hmm.
And what they would do, they would talk the evening before, Sunday evening, before they part company. Miss Vi would say, okay, if I leave before you, I'm gonna drop a piece of green bush right here, so. And if you leave before you drop it. So when my grandmother come to that square, if there's a piece of green limb, she know that Miss Vi gone. And vice versa. So to me,
Uh-huh.
that was
I
GPS
love it.
for them.
I love it.
Of course.
It's way
I
back,
love
but it
it.
made so much sense. I used to laugh at it as a child, but now that I'm an adult and I look back, I'm saying to myself, that was
It
great
makes
skill
sense.
communication.
Yeah,
Yes.
it makes
Yes.
sense.
Otherwise, how we
But
have now is because we never had phone, we never had GPS, we never had nothing. So that was their communication skills. That is
and
what
Yeah.
also
they created.
remember
So that
that these were the things that the slaves used to use to communicate.
Hmm.
So it's coming
Yeah.
from
Mm-hmm.
even way back then,
Hmm.
because remember they couldn't speak to each other and they couldn't make plans, but the little time that they got together, they were able to put together
Hmm.
that they used the drums to send
Yes.
messages and
cool.
stuff like
Yes.
that. And those
Yes.
were some of the things that they used to communicate.
Hmm.
So kudos to grandma.
And of course,
Oh yeah.
in the medieval
Yeah.
times as well, they would tie on when they wanted to send a message, they would tie it on to
The
the foot
bird.
of the bird,
Yes.
and the bird
Oh
would
yeah.
carry.
The pigeons,
Yes.
the
Yes,
The
homing
like the
pigeons.
pigeons.
pigeons. Yes,
Yeah.
they would
Yeah.
tie
Yeah.
it on, and then as in our culture growing up, so you're walking along a path, you don't know really where you're going, and somebody would say, "So, may I go round a Mount Hymus?" And them say, "I just round there, some man." But but the thing about it is that even when you walk a few yards, and you can't see because they don't give you no landmark or anything. But
Mm-mm.
the word of mouth still carried you, because by the time you got to another location, you're saying, me did meet somebody round so, and they meet say around so, but I really mount time must me go how far away me there, kind of thing. And then we'll say, well,
Yes.
when you pass mass, see me where mass TT, pass mass, when you pass mass, mass TT yard, you keep going. Sorry. So, the early developmental stages started some time ago. We're going to take a quick break. It's 10:30
Yes.
a.m. You're tuned in to, God help us as Caribbean people. You're, you're tuned in to Saturday Morning Runnings. Of course, I'm your host, Lady D. We have Max, Sherns, and Jackie. Jen is unavoidably absent today, but we miss her. Stay with me. We'll be right back. Alrighty, so those of you who are not aware, I'm a radio host, producer, presenter, and I air my programs twice weekly on Linkage Radio and Inside the Zone on the YouTube channel, Mondays 5 to 7 and Thursdays 6 to 8. And on Thursdays, I do have, on a third Thursday, we have from the author's corner or the author's zone. So if you know an interesting author that has a compelling story that they have written in their book, I would like to talk to them. Okay. And if you know somebody who can like sing a good tune, real good singer that won't cause us any harm, then I'd like you to recommend them to, so, to recommend them to me. And they can email me at insidethezone.nyc@gmail.com. So we're elevating. Would you believe me create them something the last night in tutus?
There you go.
Nice.
Awesome. I love the idea.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Beautiful.
Yes.
welcome
So
everyone. Let's
my,
hop on up. One moment, Jack. Let's acknowledge our people on our chat in a minute,
oh
and then
my,
we'll
how did I
want
lose
to say
my
hi
to
to
online?
Angie. Angie was my neighbor in Tollgate. So morning, Angie. How you do? Good to see you. And she said, morning, neighbors. Morning to you too. Our girl Charles is here. So
Morning.
morning,
Good
Charlesie.
morning.
Good morning.
Andrea all the way in Barbados. Morning, Drea. Drea, you have any reputable person you would like to mention who did an invention out of Barbados? Please type it in the chat and Jackie will pull it up for us. Good morning, ladies. Happy Saturday. Morning to you, Noveline. Sure, me have to round up my mouth and read properly.
Oh,
Or it's Noveline, me no know. But morning, my dear.
I like the name though. It looks like Noveline.
Yes.
Novlene. I know somebody by that name.
That's the
Lovely.
Mhm.
first I'm hearing
Nice
that
name.
name.
And I would like you to share the moment you come on, just share it with someone. Say, hey, this show on, and them talk about great inventors and inventions. And the lady, them it look good and them smart. So you let them come on. Oops. Lordy. Okay, so and okay, Noveline says, thanks for the invite, Minister Herman Bailey. Wait, Herman, you're minister, the Lord Cho, Minister Bailey. Go on, Herman. The green bush was our marker back then.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, Jack, do you have something for us?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm still working on the penicillin part, but this little piece was my what I put together or put together for the group.
And
Um,
you're featuring
can
who?
you can you hear me? I'm featuring pioneer female pilots,
Okay, so
and
I
there's
have
something.
one name. I have one that you had given me.
Yeah,
Um,
I actually didn't put any names because I did that for a reason.
okay.
Because there's one special lady in there that I wanna feature,
No
and
problem.
it's significant. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So how did we get here? Some of us by boat and some of us by plane. All right. So these ladies, a lot of times we don't even know who the pilot is. We hear them speaking, but we don't even know who they are. Thank God nowadays they're introducing themselves and they're telling us how high we're flying, etc., etc. What these ladies, they believed that they could fly airplanes. They held on to their dreams and they didn't take no for an answer. One of those trailblazers was was this lady called Bessie Coleman, and she was the first Black person of record to receive a pilot's license, and that was in 1921. And I think that is significant from way back then, and
Mm-hmm.
who has inspired a new generation of Black pilots. One of the African American female pilots, fueled by the early aviators' contributions, is Lieutenant Colonel Beverly Armstrong, and she's the president and founder of the Bessie Coleman Foundation of nonprofit organization that encourages African American women, especially women, to pursue aviation careers. And they're doing great. Okay, so it's a long piece, but I don't want to go too much into it. So
Mm-hmm.
Kimberly McConnell, she's 33, has had similar experiences where people look at her and they would say to her, "You're flying," and they expect to see, or they ask who's flying, they expect to see a white man or a white woman, and then they realize that she is a pilot. Now, this is a young lady that is significant to me, and that I'm introducing to you. Her name is Jacqueline Alberga.
Mm-hmm.
Jacqueline Alberga is a co-pilot, and she grew up in the rural part of Jamaica. And she worked for two other commercial airlines, and one of them is American Airlines. She said the guys, this is what she said. She said the guys had to get accustomed to me. She says with a Caribbean accent. For the most part, people are really excited. And why I am excited for Jacqueline Alberga is because she's my friend. And
Oh,
she's one of the first Black pilots to fly for American Airlines. She was in my
wonderful.
class at high school. And years after we left high school, for some reason, her mother called me and we were talking. That was the last contact I had with her. And she told me that Jacqueline was studying abroad. I didn't know she was studying to be a pilot. And
Mm,
years later, when I moved here, I saw a feature in the paper about Jacqueline Alberga, and
yeah,
they were featuring her flying out of Texas, in Dallas, Texas, and the piece was a lovely piece. So I kudos to these lovely Black lady, and one of the most important parts to me is that one of them is Jamaican.
wonderful.
And there are many more. I've seen a lot of Jamaican pilots, Black Jamaican women pilots nowadays, and
Mhm.
kudos to them.
Yes. Thank you, Jack. Great, great
Wonderful.
presentation. Good morning.
Boy, Jackie, I'm sorry, Lady D. That build up around her. Me did think that she'd go walk out behind you at any moment.
Right.
That was
Which would have been awesome.
It's because you know why we're
Yes.
talking about people, we're talking about other people, but
no,
to
but she's
realize
somebody,
that
man. It was
it's
very
actually
good because it's somebody you know.
Yes.
But I'm
yes,
just saying, somebody you personally know.
Yes.
So it's
So,
like the build up
yes.
around it. Me think should have come out from behind you and say, hello, lady.
Yeah, right. Or I wish you
I
had
was,
said her name so I could flash her photo.
you know what I mean? I thought she was
Yeah.
gonna come in
Yes.
live.
yeah,
But
I
look
have not
here.
listen. I have not been in touch with Jackie in decades. But
Yes.
the thing
But
is,
yeah,
when I saw that piece, it was like 20 years ago, and I spoke to her. Actually, spoke to her on Facebook,
yeah.
or that long has Facebook been around that long? I don't remember, but we spoke, and then we lost contact after that. But
Oh,
But
I
okay.
was
don't
trying to
worry
find a
yourself.
current.
Don't sell us short because Lady D have tricks up her sleeve and Lady D can just patch her into a live interview, you know.
There you go.
That's
I
so,
know.
Yeah,
because
because
when you
if you have
I'm
her,
going to
Yes,
yeah,
that's what I'm
if you
about to
have her
say.
information,
I'm going
send a
to
text.
try.
Send a
See?
text, and if she
Yes,
has 2 minutes, I can
that
just
would
send
be
the
the
link,
potential.
or you forward her the same link and ask her if she's good with that. All right.
Right. I'll
exactly,
try. I'll
Yeah.
see.
Capitalize on the moment. Hello.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes, yes. So welcome everyone.
Yes,
You're
Oh,
perhaps
and can
wondering.
I
surprise
jump
her.
in? I'm so sorry. I
Yeah.
was thinking about when Jackie was speaking. The Super Bowl tomorrow. You know how they
Yes.
have that flyover?
Yes.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, when they have that flyover, they're gonna have
Yes.
an all
Yes, so I
female
see.
squadron.
So I
It's gonna
see.
fly over tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Usually we
Yeah,
would meet up at in the events hall at church for that, but they didn't do that this year.
yeah,
We're not going to
us
hang
two.
out for
Usually
the
we have
Super
a
Bowl,
yeah,
Okay.
so we'll
yeah,
hang out in living room
yeah.
and watch
Can
it.
I your yard?
Right. Again, it's 10:41. This week's topic, Black
What?
History Month, great minds, great people. And we're really having a good run of it this morning. We want to say thanks to our viewers. And as you come into the space, share. Tell somebody, hey, the girls, them there, Saturday morning runnings. And they're featuring some great inventors and their inventions. And just like, share, subscribe. Good morning, Madam Brenda. Nice to see you. Alrighty, so I would like to also take you to um, my second feature because let me see. So I'd like to take a trip over to, one of our um, islands there. Yeah, let's see. Mhm. And her name is Camille Wardrop Alien. Camille Wardrop Alien. And this is Camille right here. Where is she hiding from me? This is Camille.
Ah.
And she's giving us a thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so let me share a little bit about her for you this morning, everyone. Camille Wardrop Alien. Camille Wardrop Alien is a brilliant aerospace engineer whose accomplishments in that field have been extraordinary in the highly technical fields of science and engineering, where women are in the minority. She has achieved against all odds, being one of a few women of color and the only woman of Caribbean descent in a senior management position at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA. The recipient of several recognition awards from NASA, she has played a lead role in the design and development of space vehicles, among them the state of the art Orion Crew Exploration Vehicle. She has also received commendations from the U.S. Department of Defense for her work on its ballistic missile defense system. Based at the NASA Lyndon B. Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, USA, Ms. Alien is the Assistant Program Scientist for the International Space Station, ISS, which is NASA's only human space flight program since the closing of the Space Shuttle program. She's responsible for communicating the scientific and technological accomplishments of the ISS and the benefits to life on Earth to the top leadership at NASA, the US Congress, the general public, and scientific, research, and educational communities. She also leads an international education task group which identifies ISS educational activities that can inspire students and attract them to the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM. So much more to learn about Camille Wardrop Alien this morning. And we say kudos to
Oh
our
yeah,
ladies in
the girls are doing
aeronautics.
it.
They are doing it. Now,
Yes, in a
um,
male predominant
Yes,
space.
indeed, Jackie,
yes, I was just
Literally.
about to say that.
do you have anything on the peninsula so Cat can get his heart's desire?
I have a little, but what I know of or have read way before, penicillin is that it was discovered by a black soldier. But this feature that I'm finding is on Alexander Fleming, who is a Scottish man who discovered.
Mhm.
He was a doctor, he's a physician, and he a doctor of what you call it anthropology, that
Mhm.
pretty much, and they deal with bacterial, you know, stuff, and he discovered the fungus growing on a petri dish. Like he was away, and then he came back, and he discovered the fungus growing on a petri dish, and it took 20 years for him to really work on it and discovered the value of the fungus that was growing on the petri dish. So
Okay.
he had planned to become a surgeon, but held a temporary position in the department of St. Mary's Hospital, which he was in charge of. And I'm still going through this. I want to find the section where he said the road to penicillin. In September 1928, Fleming returned to his laboratory after a month away with his family and noticed that a culture of Staphylococcus aureus he had left out had become contaminated with mold, later identified as penicillin naturum.
Mm-hmm.
He also discovered that the colonies, that's the colony of growth of Staphylococcus, surrounding this mold has been destroyed. He later said of the incident, when I woke up just after dawn on September 28, 1928, I certainly didn't plan to revolutionize all medicine by discovering the world's first antibiotic or bacteria killer. So whatever was in the petri dish, the mold killed it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's actually where the first
Okay.
antibiotic started. That's where he discovered that this type of mold can destroy um, can destroy these bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
suppose that was exactly what I did. He at first called the substance mold juice and then named it penicillin after the mold that produced it. So
Yeah.
that's really where penicillin started.
Yes.
It's a mold. It's actually a mold that killed the staphylococcus. If you know anything about staphylococcus aureus, it manifests itself in so many different ways. Now that I'm in school, I'm learning even more about, staphylococcus. You can get strep throat from that. It can even manifest itself on your skin, depending on if you encounter that. It spreads, it shapes different on the skin than it does in your throat or in other parts of the body. And the penicillin that they've developed all these years can
Wonderful. Thank you,
can
Jack.
kill that.
Thank
You're
you. All
welcome.
right, Max. I know Max has one of her pieces to share with us this morning. Would you be ready for us to do that, Max?
Sure. Okay, so I have two pieces, but I'll share one. If there's time, I
Mhm.
can share the other. And this one
Yes.
is entitled Inventions. I wrote this poem on the 26th of December, 2004. Inventions. God bless the man who invented air conditioner. Hats off to the maker of the heating system. Lots of respect to the provider of elevators. A shout out to the inventors of cars. Hooray to the brains for microwave. A big thank you to telephone maker. Mazel tov to the hands of the TV inventor. God bless the man who invented air conditioner. I'm no longer hot. Hats off to the maker of the heating system. I am very warm. Lots of respect to the provider of elevators. I don't have to climb the stairs. A shout out to the inventor of cars. You sure save some walking. Hooray to the brains for microwave. I can have my meals in minutes. A big thank you to the telephone maker. Information is seconds away. Mazel tov to the hands of the TV inventor. Entertainment and information is right before my very eyes. Inventors are outstanding individuals with brains that tick just like a clock. With every beat on their feet or in a seat, they're always thinking, how next can I make life more complete? Thank you.
Ah, bravo. Thank you, Maxie. Thank you.
You know, Lady
Welcome.
D, when I think about these inventions and stuff like that, I really always think that not one person invents, a specific thing. I don't know if you're. Let me kind of elaborate. All right, say even the elevator. I'm
Mhm.
sure there are several people who thought of that
Yes.
before. I always thought of clapping my hands and my light would come on. I was laying
Mhm.
down in my bed. I was a little girl laying down in my bed, and instead of getting up to turn on the lamp to light the lamp, I always think that if I clap my hand, the lamp would come on.
Mhm.
And years later, they did invent a lamp that you clap
Mhm.
and the light will come on.
There you go.
Or you touch and the light will come on. I even had one. You touch a lamp and it comes on, and each time you touch it, it changes the intensity of the light.
There you
So
go.
I think that different inventions, not only one person might have brought it to light, especially in times when you have slavery and they couldn't show any claims to anything. The
Mhm.
slaves were the ones who were out there toiling, and they had to discover easier way to do their jobs. So I know there are inventions that were not even credited to them,
Mhm.
that they have made,
Recognized, yeah,
and of
true.
course other people have taken the credit. So we
Yes.
give
Exactly.
credit,
Some,
And the
yeah, a
patent.
lot of
credit to
times
those
that's
people.
why, yeah, that's
Mhm.
why they had to come up with patents and stuff
That's
like
the
that.
patent.
That
Yes.
way you
Yes.
can protect. It's still
Mhm.
happening. It's still
Yeah.
happening.
Absolutely.
And you know, God is so good that He has given knowledge and so on to individuals. Sometimes there's a collaboration on a particular thing. Some people are just blessed to be able to come up with a variety or a myriad of inventions because sometimes they kind of correlate to each other. One thing affects the other, or it makes life easier. It might be gadgets, and one gadget does this, and the other gadget does that. So sometimes,
Right.
some collaboration can happen, but there are times outside of, prior to patents being a thing,
Mhm.
ideas were stolen, and the
Yeah.
kudos, the accolades was not given to the person
Yes,
who came up with it
Mhm.
at all.
That's true. That's true.
Never a mention
yes.
made of them.
Made
Yeah,
of. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, we are
I
doing
have a
fine
very
here.
short, I have a very
And one of the
short
reasons,
one. I have
What?
a short one on Marie Van Britten Brown. She
Mhm.
was born in 1922. She passed away in 1999. She was born in Queens, New York, and she worked as a full-time nurse. Her husband Albert was an electronic technician. They both kept irregular work hours, and the timing of their schedules meant Brown was often left home alone. When crime rates began to affect her community, Brown grew fearful of answering the door. With the help of her husband, she devised the first home security system.
Hmm.
It was
wow,
equipped with four peepholes, a sliding camera, television monitors, two-way microphones, and a panic button to notify police of any emergency. And so she filed her patent for her invention in 1966 and was given approval in 1969. And today, a lot of us, benefit from having home security system. But who knew? You
Mhm.
know?
Hmm.
There you go.
Hmm.
Yeah, I read
Interesting.
that this week.
awesome.
Thank you. That is
That's
amazing.
great.
You know how many people have
Female.
invested in that thing?
Hmm.
Tell me
How many
about it.
Yeah,
people have? I mean, they can stay wherever they are, have it on their devices if they travel, and
Mm-hmm.
they want to ensure that everything is on the up and up. They can
Yeah,
see the comings and goings.
it's wonderful.
Yes.
I watch my dogs in Jamaica all the time. I
Yeah.
know if they're I know if they're slacking off the job. I know if they're working. You know what I mean? I see
Yes.
them running around. And the best part is that it's hooked up to Alexa so you can talk to them. And
Mhm.
they're looking around like, where are you? Where are you?
Love it.
So,
Yes.
so, so thank you to this pro that really started it all.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's
Absolutely.
wonderful.
And
So
you can
I
and you
would.
Wonderful.
have your and you can turn on your light and
Yes, it is.
whatever.
Yes, you
Awesome.
can
Yes.
turn,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, you can turn on your light. You
Yes,
can turn on music as well. Sometimes we
Music.
turn on music. You know, you can have
everything.
lower your volume, whatever you want.
Mhm.
One of the things that we can
Turn
do
on your
in this
TV.
house, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
the fridge that we have downstairs is connected to my brother's phone. He can stay anywhere he is in the world and look in the fridge and see what's in there.
Hello,
Yes.
hello.
So
Yes. I can send my email and stuff on
yes,
it.
the
Yes.
kids go on the fridge and play
I know.
music,
One time,
whatever, and the fridge tastes it too, you know, lady. The fridge will tell you
Yeah.
say you need to put food in your refrigerator. That's what the fridge tell you, you know.
Yeah.
It tell you
or
say you need to put food in the fridge. You say, oh
Listen
everybody
that
know
God.
your
now.
business.
You see all that now. Speaking of
Yeah, one
food.
time
Speaking of
we had
food,
a
though it's
system
a
before.
fruit. What you were saying, Max?
Uh,
What were you
I was
saying?
about to say, we had a system we had before this one. We had a system before. One day we were getting a delivery and we were on the road normally night. And we had some pallets of some games was being delivered to our house. And we were on the road when the guy showed up. Pallets and pallets of stuff. And we stood right where we were and opened the garage for him to put there. And was like, what?
You
We
see that?
talking to him on the phone, opened the garage door so he could put the stuff in the garage. And
Hmm.
we closed it back right there. We waited outside until we got here because we had to sign paper.
Yeah.
But
What
he
we're
was surprised
talking
when he saw
about.
the garage door going up and we're not in the house.
That's what
So
we're talking
the
about.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm telling you, we
Yeah,
have come a
man.
long way.
Technology,
I
technology. So
know.
I would like to also feature something interesting. Okay, that wasn't the interesting part. I do apologize. But this is like, where is it? So this here, we know what that is, don't we? I think we
Mm-hmm.
do. I
It
think
looks
we
like a
do.
tangerine.
Or
Okay.
Tangerine.
orange.
So I'd
Mm-hmm.
like to talk about the Ortonic fruit.
Organic,
Ah,
yes.
Ortonic.
alternate.
Yes, Ortonic.
Yes.
So
Indigenous to Ireland.
there you go.
Yes.
Let's talk about quickly about Mass Ortonic. Even some Jamaicans might be surprised to learn that the Ortonic was developed right there in Mandeville, Manchester,
Yes.
originally
Mm-hmm.
known as Tangelo. The cross
Mm.
between an orange and a tangerine
Mm-hmm.
was the creation of Dr. David Daniel Phillips, who was reportedly the grand uncle of noted parliamentarian Dr. Peter Phillips. For more than
Mm.
a century, the Ortonic has been thriving in the cool hills of Manchester with a distinctly sweet flavor that may have something to do with the bauxite rich soil in that
Oh,
area. Ha ha ha. Who
Wow.
knew?
never knew
So,
that one.
Have you ever
and
had it?
I've had
yeah,
alternate many
yes,
times.
man. Yes,
Many
man.
Yes.
times.
And we keep
I
it in
Ortonic.
the
love it.
house.
Oh yeah,
So
Ortonica
it was
fruit.
growing around
Oh
us.
dear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
alternate
Yes.
is very good.
And one more, since still in the fruit section,
Yes.
Jamaican biotechnologist Dr. Paula Tennant is credited with the creation of the solar sunrise, a genetically modified strain of papaya, which is resistant to the ring spot disease. Dr. Tennant was the first person from the Caribbean to ever develop a bioengineered product, which she accomplished during research at Cornell University. Tennant was able to manipulate the disease-causing gene in the fruit and develop a papaya, which is resistant to the ring spot disease. Her discovery
Wow.
helped save the local papaya industry, which was under threat from the invasive disease.
If it's the same Paula that we're talking about, I
Mhm.
also went to school with her.
There you go. So, top up
Well,
your bread box, people.
well,
Let's
Wow,
hello.
does man.
You know, all
so.
the famous people.
And her sister's name is Ingrid, Paula and Ingrid Tennant.
Mhm. So,
And they were bright, they were brilliant people.
Okay, nice.
so this is
Wonderful.
the true testament. So, Sharon, do you have another feature?
Yes.
Jack, do you have another feature?
I have, yeah, and it has also to do with food. He's very famous, and most people know George Washington Carver, agricultural scientist, born 1864, died 1943. He was born into slavery in Diamond, Missouri, the year before it was outlawed. He was a prominent scientist in the early 20th century, and he became the first African American to receive a Bachelor of Science degree. He also earned a Master of Agriculture degree in 1896. Carver taught and conducted research at Tuskegee Institute, now known as Tuskegee University. He invented hundreds of products using sweet potatoes and soybeans, but it was his work with peanuts that really made him famous, as he yielded more than 300 food, industrial, and commercial products from peanuts. He um he also discovered that sweet potatoes and oh wait, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. Bear with me, bear with me. Okay, George Washington Carver was famous for improving the lives of poor farmers through new farming methods. During much of the 19th century, Southern farmers planted cotton year after year, which depleted the soil of vital nutrients. Carver's experiment found the peanut plant restored nitrogen to the topsoil and made it healthy again. Planting peanuts one year and cotton the next year increased the life of the soil. This plant process is what we now know as crop rotation.
Hmm.
Carver's cotton peanut crop rotation created peanut surpluses, more peanuts than people had need for. So they had to find new uses for peanuts and peanut products, which includes soap, face powder, mayonnaise, shampoo, metal polish, and glue. He also discovered later that sweet potatoes and peas had the same nitrogen fixing abilities as peanuts. This profitable crop rotation allowed farmers to maintain soil fertility. And I'll stop right there. Some
Mhm.
people thought also that he's the one. I've often heard that he's the one who invented peanut butter, but as it came out, it was not the one who actually came up with peanut butter, but he was instrumental in the
Mm-hmm.
production or the excessive production based on the crop rotation of peanuts. And so they had to find different ways of consuming peanuts because they were so plentiful after a while. So
Yes,
that's George
yes.
Washington Carver.
Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, thank you. Let's hop on over to the chat quickly just to say hello to our audience. Morning, Sister Morrison. Morning, Lady D. Happy Saturday to you. Yes, thank you. And Noveline says, I'm from Mandeville, Manchester. Thanks for the information. I did not know this. You're most welcome, Noveline. Gritly, hey, Gritly says, I always ask why it don't have no seed. Mhm.
Yes.
There you go. Andrea
Nice.
says, okay, Jack, can you
Seedless.
help me?
I think the
What?
shaddock. I think the shaddock. Do you know shaddock? It's a grapefruit, and it's
Oh,
sort of
No.
pinkish inside. And when you open it, the pegs just pop out, and it's
oh,
easy to and it's sweet and big and huge.
we
I
don't,
don't know that
not as
one.
ugly, not ugly that.
Maybe some people
I
call
know
it
sugar.
ugly.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
with the
I,
big
Yeah,
teeth. The rind
I
is
know it.
very big and bumpy.
yes,
Yes.
and but it's sweet
Oh,
inside, and the little pegs and the peglets they can just open up quickly.
oh,
I
I
think
didn't know
that's
they call
also
it
one of
that.
the crossbreeds. But in keeping with animals, one thing I know for sure is that Minard Farms in St. Anne, and that's on the way to Brownstown. When you go into Brownstown, it's just like a mile out of Brownstown. Minard, that was the first place they developed the red pole cow. So if you know
Mm-hmm.
of the red pole cow in Jamaica, it was developed right at the Minard Farms, right there in Brownstown, St. Anne.
There you go. I think I heard
And
that on Thursday.
oh well, that I didn't have to read that. We knew that because we went to school in Brownstown. We had to know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, who thought that Thomas
Okay.
Edison was the one who invented the light bulb?
They say not a thing, also.
It's
Not a thing,
wildly
so
young.
Mm.
That's
there were
how that is
actually,
wildly. Yeah,
yeah,
that was.
including a black man as well. There were over 20 inventors before Edison to
Mm-hmm.
come up with the with the idea of light, because the
Light
electricity, they
bulb.
were toying with electricity and the light bulb, and transferring that electricity into into light, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
into light. However, Edison is often credited with the invention because his version was able to outstrip the
Yeah.
earlier versions. That's the only reason
Yes.
why he's credited
He's
with that. And
right.
he had a higher vacuum that others were not able to achieve at the time when
Mm-hmm.
they invented it. One of the even earlier inventions came from Humphrey Davy in 1802, who Davy invented the first electric light. He experimented with electricity and invented an electric battery.
Mm-hmm.
So he started that, and then it went on 1850. An English physicist named Joseph Wilson Swan created a light bulb by enclosing carbonized paper filament in an evacuated glass bulb. And by 1860, he had a workshop prototype.
Oh, wow. Thank you,
So there
Jan.
were
Wow.
quite a few people
Mm-hmm.
who had credits to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
All righty. So Brenda says,
School of learning.
thanks for the info, Lady D, on the orange. I'm also from Mandeville and didn't know that. All right.
Oh yes, that's
Every day
my
we learn
stepfather is from there. Yep, sweet.
something new. Beverly Weber. Thanks for coming on, ladies. Oh, Beverly, you're so welcome. Beverly, I am asking you to subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. And as you're watching, you may share it with your friends, your family, and people in your network. Okay? Thank you. Now, let me quickly share and then I'll just allow you ladies to keep moving. It's 8 minutes after 11 o'clock. And if you're just joining us, we're talking about Black History Month, great minds, great people. I'd like to take you to Dr. Patricia DeLeon. Dr. Patricia DeLeon has distinguished herself as perhaps one of the few, if not only, Jamaican scientists to be recognized by a president of the United States of America. She well, this was written some time ago. So she received a very prestigious award from the president of the US for her research on genetics. And we're talking now about Jamaican scientists. Uh, it was reported that she was very surprised when she had heard she was chosen for that award. I'm sure the poor lady doing her work, but didn't really realize, and that she was very grateful. Um, now, let me tell you who else. So she was recognized for her work. Um, Professor Louis Grant, 1913 to 1993, a pathologist and microbiologist. Professor Louis Grant was associated with the University of the West Indies, Mona, for 20 years and achieved the highest academic honor. as he was in touch with science from an early age, as his father worked in a chemical laboratory at the Appleton estate. He had showed great promise as a student in early life, and in fact, won a scholarship that made him able to attend Jamaica College before he left the island and went to study abroad. In the 1940s, he dreamed of a Jamaica with less disease, and he sought the help he needed and completed a mass vaccination that is credited with the eradication of the tuberculosis disease in Jamaica. And in the 1960s, when leptospirosis began spreading
Leptospirosis.
all over Jamaica, Professor Grant did the necessary research and discovered that infected rats were urinating on the food that was being consumed by the people who were ill. He quickly spread the word so that people would do more to get rid of the rats and protect their food. Soon there was a big decrease in the number of cases. After that, horses were afflicted with a virus called the equine encephalitis on the eastern side of the island. He then instituted quarantine for the horses, donkeys, and mules in that area. This prevented the billion-dollar horse industry from being ruined. Again, in the late 1960s, Jamaicans began suffering from a fever. Dr. Grant realized it was the dengue fever. And after intense research, he found out that the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes were actually spreading the virus. Again, he launched a public education campaign that helped to reduce the spread of the virus. There you have it, Professor
Wonderful.
Grant.
And Lady D, in keeping with medicine, let's give
That's
a
up to you,
huge
Professor.
kudos, a
Yes.
huge kudos to scientist Dr. Henry Isaac Lowe. He shares my
Henry Lowe.
name. That's my grandfather's name. I don't know if we're related in any way. We're looking into our DNA right now. Just, you never know. But
Okay. Right.
Dr. Lowe is credited with so many, he has so many accolades, so many things to his name. He was one of the first persons who developed the who actually did research and developed one of the first medication per se for prostate cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Or prostate cancer. And he has gone on to do research and found, I think he was the one who did the research to find that there was something in the soil that we drink that killed certain cancer cells. Not all, but it was specific to certain cancer cells. So Dr. Lowe is credited, and he's well known in Jamaica for that. When you talk about Dr. Lowe, he has, he worked at the CAST at the time, which is UTech right now, College of Art, Science and Technology. That's where he worked. And he is well known in the Jamaica diaspora for that.
Wow. Some great inventors of the times, I'm telling you. And I mean, when we go to the doctor, or we are even sitting in the presence of a nurse, like Jackie will be in a few months, you realize how much work, woohoo, you realize how much extensive studies they have to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because to understand the human, I was praying the other morning in my devotion, and it just dropped in my spirit that, Lord, here I am. My eyes just open and I get up and sit up. And then I am moving around. And I said to myself, so can you imagine if my eyes were down at my knee? So your breasts, the intimate.
Yeah, you remember the stain from my idea on my knee. Where
from my idea on my knee, right? But seriously, I mean, here we are created. Here we are, we are created in such a unique way, and
grand design.
The wisdom of God, is provided to mankind to go now and study you know, the very first strand of my hair where it attached
Yes,
to the four
yes,
parts of my brain, front
yes.
lobe, you
Yeah.
know, how my eyes, that when our eyes are just moving, but hi, I,
Yeah,
I just saw a child whose eyes just crossed and move, and I'm saying to myself, and what you know, me complain, oh, me wear glasses so long, but I don't have cross eyes, you know, and
Right,
exactly.
so
right.
there's a doctor for that where
Mm-hmm.
therapy is concerned
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
to see how they can get the eyes
Mm.
Yeah.
be
It's
corrected
remarkable
according
when
to
the
the
image,
best of their ability. It's
remarkable
amazing.
when the
So
Yeah.
image hits your eyes, it
yes.
doesn't just stop,
I
it
know.
goes through and the image is upside down and crossed. When it hits your eyes, when you learn the science of sight and the image hits you, when I look at you right now, you're actually upside down and crossed over.
Hmm?
But when we're looking at you, you're upright.
Yes.
So,
It's
Yeah,
you know,
because
that's,
it's the whole
Mm.
interpretation. It's like
yeah.
pictures.
mm,
Yeah, it's like picture. It's like people who, because I have a photographic memory, which I was told that I didn't know, and I was in school, and like if I read something and you're asking me about it, I can look away from your face, or I could close my eyes and I could literally see the page back in front of
And
me
record
with
it.
mhm.
the yeah
Record it.
with the print, or if I
Yes.
wrote it and I could tell you which line. It was ridiculous. And I remember one teacher said to me, you have a photographic memory. And I was like, I mean, I was young still,
Mm-hmm.
primary school. And I said, really?
Yeah.
I never, I mean, of course, that wasn't in my vocabulary at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But, we are really fearfully and wonderfully made when we think
Wonderful.
about it. And just I mean, and even now
Absolutely.
we're talking,
Absolutely.
there are still experiments being done,
Yeah.
and there are still other things. And this is going to lead me to this guy here. I didn't provide you with this fellow, Lady B.
Okay.
Charles R. Drew. He was called the blood bank equalizer. He was born in Washington, D.C., and he became a prominent surgeon and a medical researcher. And he was a trailblazer in the field of blood transfusions and the storage of
Mm-hmm.
blood in large scale blood banks.
Mhm.
Dr. Drew's renowned research led to an appointment as a medical director of the Blood for Britain project, where he oversaw the collection of 14,500 pints of vital plasma. He also became director of the first American Red
Wow.
Cross blood bank in 1941. There he had to fight against racial segregation in American blood banks that excluded the blood of African Americans from plasma supply networks. He resigned in 1942 after the armed forces declared that the blood of African Americans would be accepted but stored separately. He still continued to fight for the inclusion of Black physicians in medical societies, specialty organizations, and the American Medical Association. We
Mhm.
see how vital blood is. They're always telling you to
Yeah.
give blood, give blood, give
Yes.
blood. But back
I'm
in
a
the
blood
day,
donor.
black blood and white blood couldn't be stored in the same place.
Can you imagine
Imagine
that?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah,
We really have come a long way.
we
And,
have,
you know,
and we still
regardless,
coming.
we're still
We still,
coming.
Yes.
I
we
mean,
Yeah.
still coming.
you know, it's
We are still
novel
coming.
that we can sit here and reminisce and, you know, we have
Yeah,
researched and so on, but we really
yeah,
have come a long
a
way.
very,
And
very, very long way.
to be
Yeah,
thankful to these people. I'm telling you.
very much so.
Yeah.
It's 90 minutes after 11 o'clock. If you're just joining us, welcome, because I know that it's Saturday morning and everyone has business to do. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, this show we rinse out Saturday morning with all manner of things that could possibly be done in our
Well,
life.
I hope you guys have your notepads and your pens,
Yeah,
because next week will be a pop quiz.
that's right.
It will
Yeah.
be a
Can
pop
I just
quiz.
mention this young lady? Can I just mention this young lady before we move on? And this is current. Calixia Valafana. I hope I had her, I did her last name justice. She's of Trinidad and Tobago. She's from Trinidad and Tobago, and she's making history by becoming the first Black female to graduate from Florida State University with a doctorate degree in nuclear physics. She will also
Wow.
be the 96th Black woman in the country with a PhD in physics. She obtained her undergraduate
Wow.
degree from Florida A&M University before pursuing her studies at Florida State University. She also returned to her home of Trinidad and Tobago after receiving the undergraduate degree to work for a year. After working in Trinidad and Tobago for 1 year, she decided to go to the advanced degree, and she's now graduating from, or
Yes.
just graduated from Florida State University with that prestigious
Yes.
degree.
Yeah.
So kudos
Kudos
to
to
her.
her. Kudos to
Young,
Oh,
all
young,
of
that's
young
them.
girl.
serious.
Kudos to
That
them
is
all. I'm
serious.
telling you.
Yeah.
She is what you call brilliant.
This is all
Yes.
special.
All right.
Brilliant.
Yes, man. And
She
the
beyond
fact
bright.
that most of these people
Brains.
they had to be so mathematically astute
Yeah,
Right.
because
yeah,
most of these subjects, these disciplines require that calculative, processes and stuff like
yeah,
that.
man.
Yeah,
That's what you have to have. Because when we were introduced to physics and chemistry in high school, man, that thing was like
Mhm.
gibberish. And you have, I
I
mean, I
know.
love biology,
Was
social
like
Me
this.
biology,
too.
human biology, that was me. But chemistry and physics was like, it was like,
Me too.
I want
it was
different
just up
language.
there.
Another
Yeah, it
Same
language.
was
here.
a different
Was my
language.
thing.
Not true. It was like Morse code.
That's
You're
for
like, what
you.
is that? And then you could see the children who
Yes.
had that
In
inclination.
biology was
Yes,
my thing,
Yeah.
but chemistry.
Yeah,
that's
they
true.
just gravitated towards it like fish toward them. Just and whatever. As the teacher said something, I was like, yeah, 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 and I'm
It's like
like,
them
okay,
just
go
absorb
on.
it.
And you feel
Yeah,
done.
I
And
wish
you
I
make
was
you feel done.
exposed. I wish I was exposed earlier though to genetics. I like genetics.
oh yes,
Putting the
I'm very
I love it. I love putting the codes together and you
Okay.
can
I am
figure down
yeah,
the
I am
line what
very
I like
yeah.
genetics. I
Yeah.
wish
I
I
am
was
very in
exposed
awe of
to that
that.
earlier.
I am in awe of that. The whole
Yeah.
genetics and the whole DNA wrap up
Yeah, me
situation.
too.
I am in complete awe of that. One of my daughter's in-laws, the fellow was he's a nurse now, he's an RN now, but when he was studying and I was kind of picking his brain and we was helping him, I thought I was helping him with some paperwork and stuff. And the DNA part, it was really, really, really interesting.
Yeah.
It was way out there, but very interesting.
So, as we know, Tuesday will
Detail.
be Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah.
And so, we would have to maybe go do some delayed show or something. So all the
Mhm.
Valentiners would have something to say,
Yes.
to give an update on how Valentine's Day went. But we'd like to wish everyone happy Valentine's Day when it comes
Mhm.
on Tuesday. So you might be dining or being treated royally at home, whatever you're going to be doing. And treat your children, treat your mom. We sometimes want to tie it in, connect it so much to,
Hmm.
the lovers and, relationships, intimate relationships and stuff, but it can be
Love
platonic,
affair.
what have you.
And
Yeah,
it's more than
love
that. It's
affair.
beyond that.
Yeah, beyond that. But we've certainly had a good morning this morning.
Beyond that.
Information, not overload, I think, because we did it in such a way. It was timely, and you can't talk,
Mhm.
you don't know. So we had to go do our research and share it with you. And, all of you who have always been with us. And to our newbies, we want to say thank you for joining us.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you.
that tells us that you all been sharing because our numbers are up even on our lives. So we thank you. We know that
Right.
we are operating in a very, busy and competitive.
And Boris Young, I think my cousin is in from Jamaica. So if that's her, welcome.
Okay, nice. So tell cousin to share and subscribe. Hello. Tell her to share and some Valerie says she's late, but she's here. Yudea. All righty, Val, thank you. And Dolores, welcome. And
Come your call.
Noveline, we hope to see you on Saturday, bright and early at 10 o'clock a.m. Okay. And share, man, let people know that we have some great
Yes.
content that we're putting out for you. And it's engaging. We flow so well, and it's just a great time. So at 25 minutes after 11 o'clock, we are going to just wind down. But before we do, especially for those of you who are not aware, but I host again my radio program Mondays 5 p.m., 7 p.m., and Thursdays 6 to 8 p.m. on Linkage Radio in Mount Vernon, and this platform called Satideh Mawnin Runnings on a Saturday. Alrighty, so I just like to share for those of you who have stories to share with me. For example, I have a segment at 7 p.m. on Thursdays called Mail Zone, MAIL. Your
I
emails are
haven't
my
I haven't been
prayer.
able to tap in Lady D on Mail Zone recently because of studying and all that, but that's one of my favorite things to do.
Right. So I
Mail Zone just knocked me out of the box. I
know
can't
it is
believe
not.
these mails.
So can you
Yeah.
imagine? But believe me, people have issues. They have
Oh, yeah.
stories to share. And as I read them, I realize that, our lives are so intertwined with each other that
Mm-hmm.
it's we'll have great experiences or
Tell me
we'll have
about
very bad ones. And that's the truth. So
Right.
if you would like to share a love story, something great, something that was just bad, and we talk about it on air, people call in, they share their comments and advice, but it's a good segment and
Sometimes very passionately.
very
Very.
passionately, right? Very passionately.
Yeah.
But you can email me at insideofthezone@gmail.com.
that's what we're
And right. And on Thursdays, on a third Thursday, I interview authors. On a second Thursday, I interview artists who have their songs out. And again, as long as the song won't cause us any hard of hearing,
Mm-hmm.
we take you. Okay. So I just like to share the promo with you. But again, it good. Everybody good. We just doing what we do. Wouldn't you like to just be reading a book and just smile?
Definitely.
And a smile just come across your face. So, ladies, it's now time for us to say our tatas, as always.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I offer you the privilege of just saying who you are and what you do.
okay. I am Maxine Lines, aka Max Poet. I'm a poet. I'm an author of my book Deep Thoughts. You can find that on exlibris.com, or you can get a signed copy from me. I'm also a reggae artist, writer, and singer of all of my songs. I also have a show coming up on March 25th right here in Georgia at Legamore Restaurant in Lawrenceville. It will be the 10th anniversary of Sir All, Wayne All show.
Amen.
So I'll be performing on that. Songs on all downloadable platforms. You can find me on all social media platforms. Thank you, Lady D, for the platform and for this opportunity. Blessing
Yes,
everyone.
always.
Okay. Okay. So the pudding pan. After this show, I have a toto to go and make. Somebody order a toto. So
Oh
you can
God.
get
Oh
you can
Lord.
get you can get yours too. The pudding pan ink.
Make one for me,
Pudding,
Jackie, please.
for real?
Make a total for
Pudding,
me.
puddingpantop@gmail.com. or 917-533-2380.
There you go. And finally, we go to insurance, Sharon's.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Boy, may I get out of one with the total? The total will talk to me. Anyway, Shades of Color by Sharon. It's a little late to order for Valentine's, but you can order gift items, African American inspired gift items, large variety, too many to mention right now, but it's a large variety. You name it across the board, stationery, housewares, household stuff, wonderful mugs, crossbody bags, lipstick cases, and so on. African American inspired. I can send you a virtual catalog. You can browse and make purchases for yourself, family members, friends, so on and so forth. Hit me up on WhatsApp, 646-342-6838. Thank you so very much.
And yours truly, Lady D. Denise Gomez. I am operating in the space I love to operate. I'm telling you, this is my thing. So I am the presenter and producer of Inside the Zone, and I just mentioned that it's a twice weekly radio program, Mondays 5 to 7 p.m., Thursdays 6 to 8 p.m., in addition to Saturday morning runnings aired at 10 o'clock. I'm also an MC, so I can MC your weddings, your concerts, your parties, you name it, I'm there. And I'm also into the voiceover business. So if you want a voice that can give you anything, I'm here. Where y'all call me for? Or I can say, it's another day here. And I can do it all over for you again. Or I can just be myself. So hook me up, audiobooks, radio, and TV commercials. I write plays, and I'm also a very good, the best stage management producer for you, Lady D. Denise Gomez. Call me 914
It's the time.
304
It's
914
time. Are we
304.
finished?
One moment, Jackie. 914 304 2592. That's 914 304 2592. Or Inside the Zone NYC at gmail.com. Thanks everyone for joining. It has been good. What does
Yes.
Andrea say? Yes, haven't had Toto for donkey years. All right, Jackie, that's for you.
Why, Jackie, I've got to make some total and send on.
You look so.
Brickley says, thanks for the history.
Yeah, tell me love
You're
total, Tina.
welcome. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
wonderful.
Great. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it has been our pleasure joining you here another Saturday to bring you Saturday morning runnings. As always, we want to just bless you up and say enjoy on a weekend.
Mhm.
Be good. God keep us until we see each other again Saturday morning at
Yes.
10 o'clock. Ta-ta.
Run.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.